That was something. So Justice League Dark Apokolips War is a 2020 DC animated movie and is actually the last in the long line DC New 52 animated features. And since they figured it's the last one, they thought, well, you know what? Let's go all out. Let's slap an R rating on this sucker and make it dark. And I mean really dark. So dark, they had to put it in the title. And so when this movie kicks off, the Justice League are meeting inside of the Watchtower. Superman is reporting, along with Wonder Woman and Batman, that according to their sources, that Darkseid is gearing up for an all-out assault on the Earth. And after showing photos of all the other worlds that have been slaughtered by Darkseid, Superman is kind of like, okay, well, we're going to go to Apokolips and we're going to strike first. Which doesn't sit right with some of the Leaguers, like Lex Luthor or even the Flash. But Superman, he's determined. He wants this to happen. He tells the League it's not up for debate, so gear up. They're going to Apokolips. But little do they know that Darkseid is actually spying on them through the lens of Cyborg. Because if we remember, Cyborg was born from a mother box that we saw all the way back in Justice League War. So it would make sense that in some way he'd have some kind of communication or connection to Cyborg. So spying on the League. It's a good way to do it. Which means Darkseid knows they're coming, and as soon as the League goes through the portal and gets to Apokolips, there is a whole slew of Paradooms waiting for him. No, I did not misspoke, I said Paradooms. So rather than the traditional Parademons, Darkseid has taken his Parademons and he's crossbred them with Doomsdays. Yes, Doomsday, as in the same creature from the death of Superman that killed Superman. However, though, it does seem like the cross between the two did kind of weaken them a bit, as the League, even though they have trouble dealing with the Paradooms, they're still able to take them out in mass numbers. But nonetheless, they are completely overwhelmed, and it is an absolute massacre where the R rating comes into full effect, as we're seeing members of the Justice League getting their legs ripped off, their arms ripped off. There's blood flying everywhere. Yeah, it did go well. And it cuts to 2 years later, and the Earth is in total chaos as Darkseid has overrun the entire planet. He's been mining the resources, which has been killing the Earth, meaning life is a little hard to maintain. And so we come to a bar where Etchkin and Constantine are getting drunk when Raven and Superman enter the bar in order to try to get their help. However, Superman isn't quite the same Man of Steel, as Darkseid had him tattooed with Kryptonite. And for some reason, instead of just killing him through kryptonite poisoning over the years, it just made him weaker. And when I mean weak, I just mean he can't use his powers. I mean, he's about as strong as the regular average person. But of course, Constantine, he doesn't want anything to do with Superman because it was his plan that led to the massacre in the first place. And after some quick banter, Raven decides to teleport him to their next location, where also it is revealed that she is losing control over the gem that contains her father Trigun. Remember that, it comes back later. And it turns out that Raven had teleported them to the League of Assassins, where it is revealed that Damian Wayne is the new Ra's al Ghul. Also, before Damian comes out, during the scuffle with the League of Assassins, I'm telling you, Lady Shiva versus Etrigan, hands down, one of the best scenes in the entire movie. But regardless, Superman and Raven tell him what the plan is, and so Damian's like, alright, let me change into my Robin costume, and let's get this mission going. And also around this time, we get some scenes on Apokolips where it's revealed that Batman has been completely brainwashed by Darkseid as he sits in the Mobius chair, even though we saw him get put in the Mobius chair earlier in the movie. But yeah, Batman's been brainwashed for the second time in this DC animated cinematic universe. If you've watched Batman Bad Blood, you'll know what I'm talking about. So now getting back on track, Superman and the others, they actually go to find Superman's wife Lois Lane, where they find her chilling with the Suicide Squad and, well, maybe not chilling as much as fighting Harley Quinn in a boxing ring. And despite all the skills of Harley Quinn, she is no match for Lois Lane as she knocks her out. And after all that's over, Lois and the heroes and the Suicide Squad, they all talk, decide, okay, we need to go storm LexCorp so we can get to the teleporter, so we can get to Apokolips, take out Darkseid once and for all. And part of this plan involves attacking the mining drills to get the Paradooms off of Apokolips, leaving it virtually guardless. because the ultimate plan isn't so much to take out Darkseid himself, but take out Apokolips. And so they storm LexCorp, they get past the guards, there may or may not have been some deaths from some of the characters, no one really important though. And Lex Luthor suits up in his armor, getting ready to fight the heroes, when Raven totally wrecks him. And then Lex Luthor reveals, oh, I'm the secret double agent that has been feeding the information to Lois and the other freedom fighters. So yeah, the double agent just tried to kill the people that he's been giving the information to. Granted, yeah, Lex Luthor's a type of guy that kind of likes to play both sides, and self-preservation is his ultimate goal, but in the grand scheme of things, siding with Darkseid in the end probably would not have been, you know, something his character would do. He has more stake in getting the heroes to win. And so he takes them into the room, he gets everything prepped, and then it's also around this time that we see Darkseid. He's on Oa, and he just killed all of the Green Lanterns. At least all of the Green Lanterns on Oa. Guardians included. Yep, those guys, dead. And back with everyone else, the group splits, leaving Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, and the Suicide Squad on Earth, and everybody else to Apokolips. Constantine decides to throw a cloak of invisibility around him, but it doesn't really do too much as they approach the big palace of Darkseid, and they get attacked by the Justice League, sort of. Because it's revealed that Darkseid didn't kill the Justice League, he just kind of twisted and contorted them, giving them mechanical parts so that he could control them, much like Cyborg Superman. And I guess we could just call this the Future's End Justice League. And so, as you'd expect, a big fight ends up breaking out, but then Constantine manages to get Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, wraps it around her, demands to know the truth about who she is, and this breaks the control that Darkseid had over Wonder Woman, which means Wonder Woman is free to fight the rest of the League while the rest of the group continues on. And as they get inside, some things come about. Raven is losing control over Trigon even more. They discover that the Flash has essentially been powering Apokolips because in their initial attack, they destroyed the power source that, was powering it in the first place. And Cyborg has been melded into a wall, also under the control of Darkseid. At least until Constantine uses some magic to break, Darkseid's hold over Cyborg as well. Boy, that magic's really useful. It's too bad he couldn't use it to break Darkseid's control of the other Leaguers as well. And it's also a shame that he couldn't use it to take away Superman's Kryptonite tattoo, giving him his powers back. Remember that. Also, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to hit that thumbs up button as well as that subscribe button. And then it happens. Darkseid and Batman come through a boom tube to catch the Justice League, and here we are. We are in the final stretch of the movie. And we start off with Batman versus Robin, round 2. And Batman mops the floor with Damian. And I do kind of like this moment because Batman had said that, all the way back in Batman vs. Robin, where Robin was, he was getting his hits in on Batman. Batman's all like, yeah, I was, kind of let you do that, so I'm gonna kill you now. And ends up beating him within inches of his life. And then, just when he's about to deliver the final blow, Darkseid stands up and declares in his best Shang Tsung impression,
"Finish him."
Is that a Mortal Kombat reference? I don't know, but I'd like to think it is. Also, don't forget to check out my review for Scorpion's Revenge, right up here. And it's within that moment where Batman has Damian and his life is in his hands that he remembers what it was like for him when he lost his parents, and Batman mentally breaks the conditioning. So he's Batman again. Yeah. Darkseid's of course disappointed, and he's like, Omega Beams. However, Robin steps in front of it, and now we have a barbecued Robin. This sets Raven off. She knows she can't contain Trigon at this point, because Robin in a way was almost like that last little bit of control that she had, because, these two have a semi-established relationship going on in these movies. And so she tosses the gem to Constantine, who decides, let's try another method here, and let's Trigon out, but attempts to contain him within a glyph, saying, all right, I will give you my body if you do something for us. But then Trigon's like, let's do this instead, and goes inside Superman. So now we have Trigon controlling Superman. And the magic of Trigon gets rid of the Kryptonite tattoo. Magic was used to get rid of the Kryptonite tattoo. Constantine, Raven, you both have magic. Why'd you let Superman go powerless for 2 years? Okay, Constantine, maybe. Raven? Come on. But here we go. Now we've got a fight between both Darkseid and Trigon Superman. And if that sounds sweet, it's because it is. Oh. So good. Oh yeah, did I also forget to mention that as soon as Trigon took over Superman, that Trigon killed Constantine? Trigon killed Constantine. But not to worry, because this was all part of some grand plan as Constantine goes to the land of the dead, aka heaven, meets Zatanna, and then she just kicks him right back to reality. Then he heads over to Cyborg, they start talking about the plan. Cyborg's like, okay, I can just make one massive giant boom tube that'll just suck Apokolips through it, sending it basically nowhere. Oh, and Raven also goes over to Damian and resurrects him as well. But you couldn't remove a tattoo. Huh. I wonder how Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, and the Suicide Squad are doing. Oh yeah, the Paradooms have gotten into LexCorp. They're getting ripped apart. It's awesome. I actually really like this particular scene, especially with King Shark and Captain Boomerang, because throughout the entire movie, King Shark has only said one thing: I am King Shark is a shark, something to that effect. And then just before they get killed, he actually says something else, which provokes Captain Boomerang to just be like, are you me? Not gonna lie, that got a chuckle. But Lois Lane is able to get a message out to Clark before the Paradooms break down the barrier, because there has been this kind of like running joke throughout the movie that whenever Clark, aka Superman, would say I love you to Lois, she would do the Han Solo bit of I know. And then just before she was presumably about to say I love you to him, where she's like, I've run out of time, this is the way it has to be, and then bop, she's dead. Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, all the Suicide Squad, they're dead. And this allows Superman to break free control of Trigon. So Trigon, he's coming out in his little smoke form, and Constantine puts him into a giant marble. And so now Superman is fully Superman again, in his suit and all. I don't know how he got in his suit, but he's in his suit. And again, giant fist fights, punch, punch, boom, boom. And sometime during that process as well, Constantine's like, I've got an idea, and let's Trigon out. And so after that, Trigon starts attacking Darkseid. And so Trigon, in his regular form, attacks Darkseid, and then those two have a fight. And I know in the special features during the interview process, they said that, you know, anime has been one of the biggest inspirations for these movies, and this movie really felt, you know, all Dragon Ball Z in the end. But again, just makes it so good to watch. Because Darkseid and Trigon, this is a match that I've been wanting to see since Justice League War, and then the introduction of Trigon in the Teen Titans vs. Justice League movie. But for some reason, Trigon doesn't go like, you know, 300 feet tall. Of course, he'd probably just smack Darkseid around if he was able to get that big in this movie. But nonetheless, the fight happens. The heroes manage to then get off of Apokolips, except for Cyborg because he's, you know, melded into a wall. And he activates one big massive boom tube, and all of Apokolips, Darkseid, and Trigon, and everything on it, yeah, they are they're sucked into the boom tube, and heck, even the Paradooms, you know, they even got sucked back onto Apokolips just as that happened. So that's it. Good guys win. Kind of. Yeah, the damage to the Earth is still done. Batman even says that the core has slowed down significantly. They have, you know, weeks, maybe just a couple of months before the Earth can't sustain any life. People are dead, the Justice League are jacked up, half robots, and, you know, Superman lost Lois. The Earth is all but dead. Oh, what to do in this kind of case? All right, at the beginning of the movie, they brought up Flashpoint, and the minute that happened, and I started to see other elements of the movie play out, I'm like, you're gonna do it, aren't you? You're gonna do it. And they do it. Constantine tells Barry, you know what, just Flashpoint us something better. Of course, Barry, he's a little resistant at first, but then decides, yeah, well, I mean, we're all gonna die anyway, so what do we got to lose at this point? Heads on off into the distance. You hear a nice sonic boom as a white light then comes towards the League, washes over everybody, and then credits. Yeah, that is where the movie ends. We don't get to see any other reality where life might be a little better or anything like that. It's just left to the imagination. The New 52 universe is done. And yeah, this movie was a trip. Being the last in its line of films, this movie definitely pulls out all the stops. There's no denying that. Like I said, they go all in with the R rating. You know, you got some cursing with some F-bombs, and you got blood and gore, and, you know, characters just dying left and right, and it's intense. Etrigan and King Shark ended up probably being my two favorite characters in the movie, because I love how Etrigan was just nonchalant throughout the entire movie, not really taking anything seriously, and you just easily see him dispatch of his opponents, whether it's a parademon or getting kicked in the face a few times by Lady Shiva. But then, during the fight on Apokolips with Wonder Woman, you know, this is where he's like, yeah, this is the fight I have been waiting for. And then, like I said, King Shark, he has all these very interesting scenes because, you know, he is King Shark and he is a shark, and that's all he's saying up until the time he dies. And that got a chuckle out of me. And they both died. I also really like Superman in this. I like how he was illustrated in the film itself, because when he was talking to the Justice League about, you know, going to Apokolips, we're gonna do this whether, you know, y'all like it or not. And then he brings up the fact, you know, with, you know, Darkseid sending Doomsday to Earth, which caused, you know, the death of Superman and Return to Superman bits to happen, and also, like, you know, Cyborg Superman. You really did feel like that these were things that stayed with Superman and kind of haunted him a little bit, making him even more erratic and causing him to make very poor decisions. I also think the theme of redemption was packed into this movie really hard too, because, you know, a lot of characters were, you know, they were seeking redemption. You know, Constantine for ditching in the final battle before being told that, you know, he got a spell put on him that made him run. Superman seeking redemption for leading the Justice League into a massacre. And the Flash also seeking redemption because of what happened in Flashpoint, because, as Constantine pointed out, it was that one incident itself that caused this entire chain of events to happen. And so at the end, Barry's like, all right, I need to go fix those mistakes. Though I will say that when it did come to the eventual Flashpoint fix, I do kind of wish we had seen some kind of clip or something showing that the heroes, you know, they now have a better life. Because the ending that we get is kind of hopeful, but it's also rather bittersweet. But I do get it, you know, the light washing over, you know, the darkness of this movie and the New 52 universe as a whole was, you know, kind of symbolic in a way where it's just like, okay, clean slate, you know, everything you know is now gone. By not showing any clips, they're signaling to the audience that this is it. We're not going to do Rebirth as of right now. This universe is not going to continue in some other way. And I definitely did have some questions while watching the movie. Of course, I've pointed out a few times, not using magic to get rid of Superman's Kryptonite tattoo. Like, you think that's something they would have, you know, done a while ago. I mean, from the time that Superman found Raven, you think that Raven would have taken the tattoo away right then and there. Also, green Kryptonite tattoo didn't kill him. You'd think that would be the same as Kryptonite poisoning, and over the course of time, it would just kill him after, you know, a few weeks, a few months, but 2 years? One thing that I never really see come out of the Superman movies and whatnot are the different versions of Kryptonite, and there's this one called Blue Kryptonite, which, you know, takes away his powers. As soon as he was away from it, he gets it back, but at the same time, you know, I think using Blue Kryptonite could have been a very interesting device here, and definitely would have caused me to ask less questions. Or heck, Go with gold Kryptonite, the permanent removal of power. Dang it, DC, I want to see more Kryptonite. Also, when we saw like some of the heroes and stuff like that, one thing that I couldn't help but notice was the new 52 version of Wallace West. And I thought to myself, Wally West, aka Kid Flash, was already established, I believe, at the very beginning of Justice League versus Teen Titans. And I'm just kind of like, okay, so we have the established original timeline Wally West, but here we have Wallace West instead. Now, I do get it that it's the New 52 universe and Wallace West was in that universe and not Wally West, but when you have a pre-established Wally West existing in this timeline already, one would think that, you know, you could at least have both. I just thought it was really strange how, you know, we had Wallace West but not Wally West. And then I do gotta bring up one more thing. What is it with giving Swamp Thing the shaft almost every single time? In the original Justice League Dark, Swamp Thing was in maybe 5% of the movie? I mean, they put him on the cover for crying out loud, and he was hardly in it, and then on top of that, they killed him off. They took the skeleton, the soul of, you know, the guy, and ripped him out of Swamp Thing, and that was the end of Swamp Thing in that particular movie. Yet, here he is, alive and well in this movie, and granted, it's really cool what they do with him, but at the same time, he's hardly in it, and I'm just like, man, I'm sorry, Swamp Thing deserves better. I mean, they did give him a really awesome show on the DC Universe app, but then ended up canceling the show before the first season even aired. I really hope that season 2 on HBO Max happens, and they give Swamp Thing the rightful treatment he deserves. He is Swamp Thing, damn it. He is not a second stringer. Okay, so he's a second stringer. Maybe even a third stringer. But he's still Swamp Thing. But ultimately, this really did feel like the culmination of an entire universe of films just summed up into one final outing. Because throughout the movie, there's like, you know, all these little details and sprinkles of information that do kind of connect to some of the other movies. And, you know, it was a good send-off to this universe. And actually, I think in the grand scheme of things, this probably is one of the best ones. And I can say I would put this in my top 5 of the DC Animated Cinematic Universe films. So Justice League Dark, Apokolips War. Have you seen this movie? I would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, I'd love it if you'd smash that like button, share it with some friends. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos. Alright, take care, have a great day. As always, stay geeky.